got mail. Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour or so, along with Spence.
Morning, all y'all.
Good morning. And Katie's here.
Good morning.
And Nick is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Gal is here.
Good morning, everybody.
Full house.
This
Yeah,
is an
after
expensive show with all the showers you're going to have to pay.
After last week, everybody left Amnon and I here alone. So it's great to have everybody back.
It was a test.
Our number is 561-518-9773. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So, what happened last week that you want to talk about?
I was
Starlink.
wondering.
You what?
Oh.
Sorry, I stepped on you, Nick. Go ahead.
I was going to ask if Gall would start off with a quick PSA for Roku users. There's been some changes to the home screen, and Gall has found a way to get rid of them, which is a nice feature.
Yeah, well, this guy, he calls me and it's like, nothing is working. Everything is stuck. And
This guy have an accent?
yeah, Middle Eastern accent. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And I say, okay, let's figure this out. And yeah, it started by Amnon dealing with some weirdness with his old Roku Ultra, which is supposed to be newer than the TV, but his TV is also Roku and something messy. So I told him, okay, check the TV so we can rule out whether it's the Ultra or not. And he starts using the TV, and he says everything's messed up in this Roku. Like everything looks different. Things are not what they are. And I have Roku TVs all over the house, though I don't really use the Roku interface. I usually use something behind them. And I switched it on, and I see what he's describing as well. So apparently Roku, I don't know when, but it's within the last 6 months for sure.
Yeah, I'd say within the last 3 from what I saw on my TVs.
They tried going more towards the Google TV, Amazon TV type of experience where they slap their own crap in the front, so you can't ignore it. Apparently, you can. It's hidden in the settings. They added 2 sections. They added a section that they call recommendations, and they added a section called quick access. Surprisingly enough, quick access is in no way at all customizable, except you can remove from it. But you cannot control anything about the order there. And so if you used to manage a menu full of icons that you put there and you could move them around, quick access now shows before that, but doesn't give you control. It's supposed to show you the recent stuff. Somebody at Roku thought that was a neat feature, and they stuck it there. But you can't move things around, so annoying.
And it doesn't tell you on the screen that this is a quick access thing.
Well,
it looks.
It did. It had a small title, but nobody notices that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. And above that, before even that, there is the recommendation section, which is a bunch of posters from different channels. Channels are what they call their apps, right? From different channels or across that are already installed or not installed, or they decided to install or whatever, and basically pushing content from these apps to you. Basically, so you'll open the apps and watch the ads and all that, right? Luckily enough, settings, home screen, these two, at least for now, can be hidden. And you get your old Roku interface back.
Yep.
At least the home screen. So yeah,
You
that was
actually you actually get a better home screen than what there was, because before with the Ultra, you turn on the TV and you have to navigate to, let's say, to Plex, and you have to go to the right and then down to, or whatever it was, because there was the plus and the whatever. Now you turn it on, and the minute it's on, there is Plex. The first thing. So all you have to do is press OK.
And I will say this, in that same home screen area, Gal, because after you sent your message, I went and looked. You can also turn off all of the buttons on the left side menu too, which I did, which include things like Live TV, which is Roku's version of Live TV, sports, featured content. I turned all that stuff off too. So now my menu is
Clean.
My left side menu is home, streaming store, search, and settings. It's just 4 options instead of everything else.
okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I will give, and you know, I'm not upset that Roku made that change. They're in a position, and now Fox, who owns them, is in a position, even though this change was made well before that. They want people to use their free streaming service because they're able to sell the advertising, and that's what their business model has been and what it needs to be. So
I don't know about needs to be.
I think you don't want to be in the
That's what it's meant
hardware
for
business. Yeah, it's not. They're not meant to be in the hardware business. That's why they sell a device for $22 on Amazon. But the fact that they let you very simply go into the settings and turn it off shows you. I think it speaks a lot to the company.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Well,
but,
you see,
I mean,
that's the problem, though, Nick. I
Yes.
kept on searching for how to move the opening the home page icons around, and every article said to just highlight it and press the asterisk.
correct. Well, that is how you move.
Well,
But you
no,
weren't trying to move the
that-
home screen items. You were trying to move their featured
right,
picks and their quick
exactly,
stuff. So
which was not there on
in that case, you were searching the wrong not
thing.
faulting you, but you were
Right.
searching the wrong thing, and
Right.
getting the wrong advice. If you had
Yep.
searched Roku, remove top picks or remove featured whatever it was called, I'm sure the answer would have come right up.
Yeah. So that's why, I mean, I spent a lot of time on it, and I think, what is going on? And yeah, and when Gal was saying that, I said, oh, okay, great. And Gal, remember the second problem I had was that if you went in Plex to TV shows, instead of seeing one image, let's say for Jeopardy.
Yeah, Amnon, that's a you thing.
No, I
Plex
understand
has
that.
always started with the recommendation,
But wait a second.
and the library is always hidden.
I understand. But on the Ultra, you go to TV shows, and it shows the way that we had to change it to browse.
No, that's because that was the last thing, the last place, the last way you looked at it, and it's not
Well,
supposed to reset.
okay.
If it's resetting on right now,
Yeah,
then it's just some settings.
it is.
But-
It is resetting.
Then go to your
So-
settings on the TV and
Correct.
You can set,
No,
you
no,
can
no.
tell
It's
it.
not on the TV. I read about it. You have to go into the Plex app on the computer and find out the libraries and change the order they are. And if you put the browse the first one,
No.
that's what they said to do?
100% no. I don't know what they said, but I'm telling you that's not the way. The way you do it is on the TV, on the settings on the TV, right? There might be a setting that says remember where you were before, or
I
something
was
like that.
looking for remember last tab and remembering last tab because that's what they said that it should work. It's not there.
I'll launch the
But
Plex here and
but when I
find it.
found this post and I went into the app on the TV on the computer and I put browse as the first one, now it's every time you go there, bam, it's the right way. So I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, okay, so you knew it was it's kind of hard now to think through what's going on because before you had two interfaces. You had the Ultra and you had the TV. And certain things you did on the TV without the Ultra, you get out of the Ultra and you have the settings, or you go into the Ultra and you do it
But you
for
never
Roku.
interacted with the TV settings.
I did mainly for networking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Even that you didn't need to. Everything was controlled from the Ultra.
Well, there was situation where I was seeing that the IP address in the networking, the gateway is one, and on the Ultra, it's a different one. And I reset and reset, and it stays the same until I go into the TV and go back from wireless to wired, then back again, and whatever. I mean, I had to do it a few times. But yeah,
Okay.
that's about when you uh, interact with the TV itself. And the only reason I started interacting with the TV is because you told me, you said, the problems you have with the Ultra may not be the Ultra. Get into the TV and see if it's the TV. And with the TV, it was, I mean, even Hannah came over and she's looking at the TV and she said, wow, it's so clear now. I said, what do you mean? She said, it's been kind of fuzzy for months. And I said, oh, so yeah, we're going through the TV now. I mean, I noticed it because on the Ultra, the background looked like it didn't have enough colors. You know how you see it in splashes, Nick? If you
Yeah.
have a solid color, and looks like solid color, but there's circles in between it. I don't know how to explain it, but it would go boom, 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 boom. I mean, you could see that the background is changing as you watch it. The picture, that the moving picture was okay, but if it's standing still, it was changing. And I said, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And
All right, we should move on.
so yeah, I mean, if anybody just goes into something like this, I'm getting a new Roku Ultra today. I'm gonna try it.
There you go.
I ordered, and we'll see. But what happened now, and I know who's using DuckDuckGo. I know Gal does.
I use it on my phone, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo just gave its browser a feature that's a lot of people have been waiting for. The privacy focused browser can now block most video ads on YouTube, letting
Nice.
users watch videos without sitting through the pre roll and mid roll interruptions that have become part of everyday life on the platform. The feature is already enabled by default for iPhone, Windows, and Mac users running the latest version of the browser. Android users can turn it on manually, with DuckDuckGo planning to enable it by default in a future update. So I don't understand how can they block, but YouTube will not let you watch stuff if you have an ad blocker on. That is interesting.
What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah,
You're using the wrong ad blocker. That's all.
YouTube has tried to block, and they'll do the same thing with DuckDuckGo. They'll block and try and block the ad blocker, and then they'll come back and fix it, and then YouTube will try and break it. It's a constant David versus Goliath battle going on there.
I haven't seen a YouTube ad in years.
The only time I see it is on my phone.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wanted to watch this video, and it was only like 10 seconds long for like a
My
reference or
favorite.
whatever.
Come on, give it to me, Katie. This is my favorite story.
And there literally was like 2 minutes of ads
Yeah.
before the 10-second clip, and I was so angry. But I was like, I need to see this thing. Like I need to see it. I can't skip it.
Yeah, that's my favorite is when you're like, and it always is me when I'm like working on my car or something like that, and I just again it's that real quick video. I just need to see if what I'm seeing is the same thing.
Yeah.
And the first, so you sit through 2 minutes of ad. The first video doesn't have what you need, and you're like, and you've watched 11 seconds of it, so you're pissed off. Then you go to another one, and there's another 2 minutes of unskippable ads, and you're like, I'm 5 minutes into this, and all I needed to see was, is there supposed to be a screw or a bolt here?
Yep. And what's frustrating too is that if you can't ignore the ad, because if you ignore the ad, it will keep playing
forever.
And forever. So you have to physically push the skip button, or else it will just sit there for like 10 minutes. It's so annoying.
Well, I see ads, but I can skip them. But on other things, and that's on the computer. On other things, like if I go and there's a link to news on WRL, WRL wants you to do away with your ad blockers. Now, I'm not running an ad blocker like anything specific. The only
Then you should.
Well, the only thing that I'm thinking, I mean, I obviously am.
No, every
But-
single browser today has tracking blocking enabled automatically, and that pisses off some of these websites. And the way to get away from the notifications about stop using your ad blocker is just installing a better ad blocker. That's all.
Well, that thing
It
started.
sounds counterintuitive, maybe, but that's the way. It's like, yeah.
It started when I installed Malwarebytes and paid for it. Because with Windows 10, I said, yeah, I want to use something that will sit there just to be on the extra safe. And I think that's when it started, but there's nothing there about such things. And every
Install
time I
uBlock
go,
Origin and you'll be fine. Usually you won't need to
Which
deal
one?
with anything. uBlock Origin. It's always been uBlock Origin,
Okay.
like
The
for
gold standard.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even in the new the new restrictions on Chrome, if you're using Chrome, I would recommend do not use Chrome. But if you're using Chrome, then you can use the uBlock. It's called Mini or something, or something. They have like a new uBlock Origin version. You can install that, and it'll still do most of it. So, yeah, it's just about using the correct ad blocker. And by the way, on the phones, if you're not using an iPhone and you're using Android, try to find Pipe. That's the YouTube replacement. It's no ads, no nothing, no tracking, no anything.
okay.
The problem with the internet about monetization in the internet, right?
I was gonna say, you got a couple hours to go into your.
I mean, the main issue today with social media, with everything basically trying to grab your attention is that our attention has been commoditized.
Yep.
Right. And I refuse to play that game. I understand they all need to make money. They need to find a different way of making money. The fact that they are trying to hijack my attention all the time is annoying as hell. I think that's the unethical part, not me trying to block the ads. It's the other way around. Give me an option to pay a reasonable price, not an exuberant price, not because you can make more out of ads. Try to make less, but allow me to pay. And
Well, hold on a second.
The service will be much better.
But that's bad business, though. I'm gonna push back on that. Trying to make less is for a publicly traded company is not a good thing.
Right, but in all due respect, business must not be led just by the bottom line. The bottom
Well, yeah,
line
but that's
needs to
that-
serve something.
But if you're a publicly traded company, you have a legal fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders to do just that. I mean,
Well,
you're
While
required to do
that
so.
is true, it needs to be within the core ethics of the company's dealing.
Sure,
So,
okay.
right?
Agree with
Like
that.
killing people might be a lot more lucrative, but it's not, right? It's not going on with the ethics. So,
Sure.
that part needs to change.
Or you be like Google and you change your terms and service. Is there what is that line that they had? Don't do evil things,
Do
and they
no
removed
evil.
it.
Yeah, do no evil.
I think about I generally agree with you, but the only thing I kind of come back to is I think of all of the free services that I use through the average day, and those services, most of them, and I'm using the word free very decisively there. I think of all the free services I use during the day and think if every one of these services wanted to charge me $5 a month to use their service, I'd be broke if that was the alternative. And so I agree with you. I'm
Let's
very
agree.
much in this tug of war over where that money is best spent.
Okay,
if that
so
makes
let's
sense.
agree that they do not make $5 a month on you, right? On a
Okay.
single user.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So that means, right, that theoretically, if I pay $1 a month and 20% of the current users pay that dollar a month, right, we are in a completely different economy.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's very much some truth that none of the big boys have been willing to take that leap, take that step, and try that model. I mean, you know who actually that's not true. I lied. You know who does it is Apple, and you're gonna say no, they don't. They do it with their iCloud storage for iOS. Their 100 gigabyte plan is 99 cents a month. Their 500 gigabyte plan is $199 a month. I have that charge. It's either $199 or $299. That hits my bank account every single month. I don't bat an eye. I don't question. I don't go, am I getting a thing? It is a small enough sum of money for making sure that the stuff that's on my phone is backed up that I do not question it. I think that's the only example that I use on a regular basis of that.
Yeah,
And they could
that's
charge way
fine.
more. They could.
No.
I mean, they could start the plan at $3.99 a month, but they started it. It is not $1. It is 99 cents for the smallest plan of iCloud storage. I'm sure Spence is paying for.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm using we have a family deal going. My son has that we all share a lot of storage.
Yeah.
With Apple,
And it's relatively cheap. It's a couple.
Oh,
bucks
it's
a month.
relative. It's very cheap.
And they're probably losing their ass on the storage, but it's
I don't think so.
It's that revenue you're talking about. Plus, Apple's in a completely kind of different.
There are
ballgame.
things about that feature that, for example, if you have a phone that doesn't have a lot of storage left on it, and you have to go through an update, it automatically moves stuff off to the cloud.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And then brings it back later, so you don't have to think about it. Or the only other way to do it would be to hook it up to a PC and use iTunes.
Yeah, the good old days.
To do the good old days, right?
Yeah.
So that's in and itself is a great feature.
Yeah.
Offloading.
I agree. I agree with you, Nick, about the small charge. Even for Kathy, for the iPad, we got 99 cents
There you go.
a few years ago, and every month I see it and say, "Oh, okay,
Yep.
it's great."
It's amazing, because we've talked a lot about streaming services and the costs rising. I mean, Spotify's like $13 or $14 a month now. Netflix is their cheapest ad plan I think is $12 or $11 or $12 a month. It's so interesting how we will say the psyche of the human of $11 a month. Wow, that price is going up a lot. And then that 99 cents hits your account every month, and it's nothing. Gal makes a very good point about the $1 a month. What some of these companies could do with $1. It's very interesting.
Yeah, they'll have a lot less customers. That's true, right? But that's also a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That means everything will be a lot more manageable. It's not about reaching out to the lowest common denominator. It's not about. It's about suddenly it's about creating content and stuff like that. I mean, we have seen those who charge and fail when it comes to, oh, they need to grab another dollar, right? The Netflix experiment is exactly that. But it's the ethics must change about our attention as commodity. And yeah, so when it comes to ad blocking, I would say I see no problem at all with that.
All right.
And if something prevents me to access because I use an ad blocker, then I won't use it. No problem.
That's kind of the thing what I do when I encounter this. I said, okay, let me go to another site.
Yeah.
All right. Here's an interesting situation here. Meta launched its inaugural AI image model from the Meta's Super Intelligence Labs on Tuesday. Its effort to compete with the likes of OpenAI GPT Images 2.0 and Google's Nano Banana 2 in the AI image generation race. The new model, called Muse Image, rolled out with deep integrations woven into the Instagram app. As part of this update, public Instagram profiles are now automatically opted into being food for generative AI remixes. All someone has to do is tag your account profile in a prompt, if it's public, and they can use Meta AI to generate an image using your likeness. So there was a big backlash about this. And 2 days later, Meta has axed the controversial feature that allowed users to modify photos from public Instagram accounts using AI.
It was so stupid. This is where Meta's tone deaf as far as like what the audience wants on their platform. It reminds me of there's this website called DeviantArt, and it's where artists would upload. It's like hobby artists, like just would upload their fan art, upload whatever their drawings, and they decided to upload an AI imaging thingy too, and then also say in their new terms of service or whatever that any image that was uploaded to their site can be used in their AI thing. And everybody left. They said, no, we're artists. We don't want you to use our artwork in the AI stuff, and we don't give you permission. So they pieced out. So it's like, Meta, why? Why are you adding an AI thing integrated into Instagram? Where also that's where a lot of the artists went, was to Instagram. So that's not a surprise.
Well, the thing that I was wondering about is, all right, so they had that feature out for 2 days or 3 days. What happens to all those videos that were created during that time? I mean, they could have gotten everything they wanted from their base in those 3 days. People on Instagram, I'm sure, are going on every day or multiple times a day. And
Define day, Amnon. Meta already has the data. They
yeah,
don't
but I
need-
mean, at this point, it's like I'm wondering if that gives them permission to use it because they had a feature that was there for a couple of days.
Okay, let's.
I don't know.
Permission wise, they do whatever they want, right? That has nothing to do with what
because they
the end
can.
user license says
Yeah.
or not. They do whatever they want, because part of the end user license is we will change this whenever we want, and you might or might not be notified, right? That's written into the end user license. So we've already agreed that whatever we put there, they will mess up. So they messed up. They felt that they are losing a few accounts for a couple of days. That's what they lost, but anything else stays. They won't remove anything that they generated. They won't.
Right.
That won't go. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do whatever they want.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
All right. Here is something that a lot of people will be interested in. A software developer made a Chrome and Firefox extension called Knockoff that automatically hides, grays out, or filters product from sketchy brands on Amazon, which highlights just how many shady brands are on the platform and how commonly they show up on searches for basic items. In just a few minutes of using the extension, Knockoff dimmed program product listings for screwdrivers made by and all these Chinese names. The extension can also hide all sponsored product listings. The extension quickly went viral as much needed filter. So
Does it
I
have a
didn't.
feature? Does it have a feature that will block any product that's made with a name that's all consonants?
I mean, the names that they have
Some of
here
the
is.
names are just, and you look, you can see it's exactly the same product being sold by 6 or 7 different outfits. Same pictures, same documentation, same description, everything.
So looks like this is an open source project, which is at least good news. They're using a very short list of brands. I don't know what makes brands qualify to go into that list. It
Yeah, I was
seems
about to
to
say, how
be
do they know if
it
it's fake
seems
or
to
not?
be
Oh.
very arbitrary, but it can be a good thing in terms of okay, Aukey, Aukey. I'm sure you guys have seen this brand around. It's marked as a fake one. I don't know. It's like it feels to me somebody had a good idea about doing it for themselves. Apparently, they know somebody in the blog sphere, post sphere, social media, something to make it go viral, to get to attention at a place like Slashdot or something like that. So it makes the news. I mean, yeah, definitely use it as long as you understand that you can also edit the brand list.
What's the name again?
Knockoff.
Knockoff.
Knockoff. Okay.
Yeah. As long as it stays open source and they make managing the allow list and the block list customizable, then it becomes something very similar to ad blocker,
Blacklist stuff.
like uBlock Origin, where all of the rules are editable. You can choose which rules you use, etc. And they just provide the mechanism to filter out the brands. Then yeah, you can import brands that come from like watch lists of ethics and stuff like that, right? Most of the time, I'm okay with buying the knockoff brand if I can save a buck on it, right? And I don't have any problem with that. If me, as the consumer, I'm actually being benefited here. Just because I didn't buy a Nike and I bought a Nike.
Right.
So like, it depends on why I consider the knockoff subpar, right? So as long as I get control, yeah, sure.
All right. Okay. For those who like to have all kind of utilities, 123apps.com is a website that provides a plethora of simple tools, each dedicated to a single chore and all accessible from a single web page. The tools are separated into categories: video, audio, PDF, and converters. Nothing to install and no account required. The site offers a two-tier experience, free and premium. The premium tier removes ads and provides scope for working with larger files, but the free tier is more than adequate for most users. So it's 123apps.com.
I've used this. I've used this pretty regularly.
All right.
Yeah, it's converting PDFs and other sorts of things. I've never used any of the audio or video features, but I've used the PDF tools, especially to Amnon, one of your customers that I do work for. I regularly have to compress their PDFs because they're very large. This is the site I use for it.
Good. That's good. Good reference. Good.
I came across an app this week. I wouldn't really necessarily call it an app. It's actually a tool that Microsoft makes. It's on the Microsoft GitHub. It's called, let's see, Microsoft Microsoft Markdown Converter. It is a useful program for taking a PDF and Kyle, your mic is unmuted, by the way.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. It's a useful app for taking like a PDF that you want a chat bot to read, and it marks it all down to text before you import it, which is good for tokens and whatnot. So if you're sending a lot of PDFs to ChatGPT or Claude or something like that, you should check out Microsoft. It's called Mark It Down. It's a little Python script. Works very well.
Yeah. All right. Mark it down.
I have an app for everybody.
It's
an app that will block all your social media until you get your steps in.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Now that's valuable.
And I mean, that 123 apps came from Dave's Computer Tips. And another one from there the article goes, simply deleting a file or even emptying the recycle bin. I know a lot of you will say, yeah, we already know about this. But this is for those that don't know. Doesn't actually remove it from your disk. With the right tools, anyone can recover your deleted data. Secure Eraser by ASComp solves this problem by overriding your data multiple times using internationally recognized shredding methods.
I don't know how I feel about this.
You what?
Said I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, making recovery impossible. Whether
Well,
you
that's the issue. Yeah, if you accidentally delete a file with this thing, it is gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how relevant this is to do on a machine you're using. I mean, we've talked about it a million times. If you're getting rid of a computer or selling it or giving it to a family member or something like that, it's important to make sure that if you have stuff that's important on there, to make sure you're actually wiping the data. But for everyday use, I don't know. There's something a little sketchy about doing that.
Well, I remember in the old days, I think it was something to do with Optimizer, that it would have an option to erase the empty space that it creates. on the drive.
Sure. It was
And
a defrag. I mean, it was
a
essentially
defrag.
defragging.
So yeah, defrag optimize, and it
Yeah,
would
but
write
with SSD, you do not want to do that.
what?
No,
With
that is true.
SSD, you do not want to do that.
Okay. Oh yeah, because the writing.
Because
Yeah,
you're writing to the disk and
a lot.
the search. There is no search time or seek time on an SSD.
Yeah.
It made sense on a hard drive because you were having to constantly go throughout the platter for data, but not a problem on
Well,
SSD.
it creates a problem if you do that. That's the thing. That's why it's not just okay. Don't do it because it's unnecessary. It's don't do it because otherwise you're destroying your SSD very, very fast.
Yeah.
Um.
You're shortening its life.
Yeah. So SSDs are very slow to write to, compared to magnetic media. Okay. The way this is circumvented and seems very fast to us is because there is logic right next to those flash modules, which aggregates the data and then flashes them into a memory, and it does it in large blocks, not bits, not bytes. And so these blocks, if you want to rearrange now the hard drive, right, you're basically straining the chipset over there, and you're erasing a lot of blocks over and over and over and over again. The number of erasures is limited. It's not, it may be not in the hundreds, but it's not in the 100,000s either, right? So any operation, any write operation that is unnecessary is really shortening the life of your drive. Nick, you had a SSD failure not too long ago, right? And that is common in a machine that is 3 to 6 years old, right? Right? It's not.
Sure.
It's expected. It's not. It's not because this is crap hardware. No, it's part of reality of living and working with SSD. So it's important to use a very SSD aware file system. That's the number one. And two is it's important to understand that what was right for spinning disks is not right for SSDs. They're not just.
Is there a way to look at the specs on an SSD that you could pick one that might have a better algorithm for rewrite? Like you've always got some amount of storage that's hidden that's used for rewriting failed
On
or
spinning drives, too.
questionable.
Well, bad blocks are being automatically replaced, if
Yes,
that's
but
what
I
you
mean,
mean. Yeah.
Is there a way to look to see, well, this particular drive manufacturer does a much better job with handling how it does that and how it has its own algorithm for when to rewrite it and so on.
So yeah, there are definitely. I mean, first of all, you need to learn how to read the smart output.
Yeah.
There's also internal reporting of drive wear, like how far in are you into the drive wear? Like this drive wear is 30% in or is 50% in. There's like a counter basically that counts down and is supposed to be able to at least alert you when you're reaching extreme drive wear, where blocks will start failing. There's also logic about which blocks to be used, and not necessarily the way we think about physical mapping from 0 to infinity, right? In a straight row. Some of the SSD controllers, they decide where to write instead of allowing the file system to decide where to write. But that's the thing. It's like finding the right combination is the trick. Before you buy them, how to test that? That's a good question. That's something that's worth researching and reporting next week.
You would hope
There's
that
definitely some comparison that are done that are worth it.
it would be good to look at the high-end brands if they're affordable enough. Some you get different quality. Samsung, high-end Samsungs. What's the other really good brand? I can't remember the name.
Stay away from the shady. Right?
Yeah. Well,
See, I
you know what I
just
found?
but actually,
I
I
was
disagree with
doing a
that.
search on Amazon product names. There's a whole bunch of free product name generators that they have to help you come up with a product or a brand name that's going to be more accepted. It's
Oh boy.
amazing.
Let's get back to what we're talking about.
Let me just make one quick point.
Yeah.
It is not a problem to purchase a non-name brand
No.
SSD. All of the NAND flash that is being used in these drives is all built in one factory. Now, obviously, you probably don't get the warranty. You probably don't get some of that other stuff. But I have multiple, not no name, but lower name brand SSDs, or really NVMe SSDs, and they have worked for years. I'm not sure I've ever seen any. I haven't seen any study or any research showing that these not quote unquote knockoff drives have a 40% higher failure rate than a Samsung or a Western Digital, or it's all the same. It's all the same flash.
What Western Digital does, where they have their blue and their red and all black drives. It's all the same components. It's just one test higher than the other.
Well,
correct.
Not necessarily. It's also differences in firmware, I think.
Yeah, well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
That might be.
Yeah.
That might be the case.
And the R&D, the development that goes into those firmwares I think, is the key differentiator. But it's also something that is very opaque and hard to determine whether it will provide value, like what Nick is describing, right? So, yeah, the chipset might be the same. The firmware is definitely different, because that's the proprietary thing of the whoever is manufacturing the whoever's selling the drive. So a Solidigm drive and an Intel drive and a Samsung drive. Their differences will be the firmware itself, and it's also really important what type of usage you have for them. If it's a media drive, right, then it has a very, very specific workload that goes on it. And if it's an OS drive, it has a different workload on it, right? And those all need to be considered. It was true also with mechanical drive, but now, because the element isn't performance, the element that you're worried about is longevity, then it's just something else that comes into the calculation, but it's still the same consideration.
Yeah, I would say that what you're going to do with that drive is the most
Right.
important thing.
Exactly.
Well, and how important the data is, to Gauss'
Yeah.
point. If this
Yeah.
is just like, for example, in my home server, I have what I bought back in 2025, a 128 gigabyte Silicon Power NVMe that was $16.99. The price is now $40 for that drive. It is simply hosting my TrueNAS OS. It's not irreplaceable. It's an OS install. So that's that. If you have good backups, I feel like you can probably roll the dice more with a non-name brand and take that risk.
And you should have a good backup.
Unless you're going
Yeah,
on a long
you should.
Journey through the universe and you're subject to more cosmic rays, you have to take that into account.
That
Absolutely.
cosmic rays are a big deal.
Did you see
I
the
agree.
story about Voyager? The recent story about how
This week?
it's still working?
No.
Voyager 1?
Well, it's been on and off. Like they've it like will randomly work for like a couple of months, and then
Well,
it disappears again, and then all of a sudden it
They
comes
Voyager,
back.
the one
there
on
was an
Mars?
issue. There was an issue that they were able to use extremely slow, because at current time, 22 hours to get to it, and then
For
22
command.
back.
Yeah.
They rewrote and redirected the memory to other parts of the, and this is it's 1971 or 70 or so technology. They were able to rewrite the OS and bypass a bad spot on memory, and they figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
And they're slowly now turning off functions because the decay of the plutonium-based power system is dropping, but it's still going. It's almost 50 years. Maybe
Yeah, and
more.
it's just cruising through space, and yeah, the JPL has a really cool deep space satellite viewer that you can look at, and you'll log on there and you'll see it's sending Voyager 1 commands, and then 23 and a half hours
recently
later, it's
left-
receiving stuff
It
back
recently
from Voyager.
crossed.
Actually, excuse me, 48 hours later, because it's 23 or so to get there, and then 23 or so for it to come back. It's almost a 2-day round
What
trip.
sparked all the interest was it passed through what they call the edge of the heliosphere, which is the end of the influence of our sun, where you cross that barrier, and the plasma on the other side of that barrier is different, right? So they thought it was going to be really quiet. It is incredibly busy, and their sensor that they used for that had to be turned off because it took too much power. They're trying to figure out a way to bring it back online.
Oh.
Cool stuff.
Cool stuff. All right. Apple on Friday accused OpenAI of stealing secrets about products still in development, setting up a legal face-off between two of the world's biggest tech companies.
Wait. How could it steal
Well,
it?
listen
Did
now,
an
here.
employee upload it?
In a lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, the consumer tech giant said that OpenAI, a leader in artificial intelligence that has a new hardware business, had asked job candidates from Apple to share details about secret projects and to bring device components and prototypes to their interviews.
Oh my god.
Whose fault is this?
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
Can
It's-
you say easy lawsuit?
Now hold on a second here. We're sitting here pretending that Apple's got any new unique ideas that Android or Windows hasn't already had for 20 years. What kind of Apple doesn't do anything revolutionary anymore. Everything is this new version of iOS you can set a custom home screen.
I
We
don't
have
think it's
predictive
that.
text messaging.
I'm disappointed with iOS recently because it seems like I ran into somebody at a brand new phone and they were having the same issues I was having with my iPhone 12,
Correct.
where
Yeah.
you'd have screens that wouldn't flip back right. And so it's the iOS. But Apple does have their own in-house chip development now, which is different.
That's
So-
true. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yep.
And talking about OpenAI, OpenAI is retiring its ChatGPT Atlas browser less than a year after launch. Going forward, its browsing features will be shifted into a redesigned ChatGPT desktop app that also combines codecs, a built-in browser, and ChatGPT Work for acting across apps and files. So,
They are trying, and they
Yeah.
have tried a gazillion different things. The browser wasn't the place for them. I just learned actually the last day that there's a new ChatGPT app for Windows. The original one, and the only reason I know this is because its name got changed, is called ChatGPT Classic, and it's just the chat. It's just the chat feature. And so I was like, I wonder if there's a new one, and there is. It's just called ChatGPT. And it's got some of the other stuff built in. I don't like it as much. The UI is not ideal, but the old one is so laggy and broken. I'm using this one now, at least temporarily.
Well, if you have a decent machine, I would recommend just download Jan, Jan. It's an open source software. Download it. It's a chat interface where you interface with an LLM. It has the built-in ability to download models locally and run them locally. And it also has the ability of just using the API keys from the pay-as-you-go APIs from any of the providers, and you can switch between them. You can switch mid conversation and all that. If you have a decent machine, a machine that has a fairly modern GPU, you can run models locally without even interacting with OpenAI or Claude or Gemini or whatever, right? And if you are okay with interacting with them on the pay-as-you-go, which pay-as-you-go also means by default, I do not share my data with you. I just pass it through your API. So this is a very good way of actually trying to work with LLMs and doing it without investing too much of sharing too much with that, keeping everything locally on your side.
Okay.
How do you know how these chat softwares, the chat interfaces, I should say, God, do you know how those work with the non pay as you go plans for things like ChatGPT? Like I pay for the
You must have
regular
an account.
ChatGPT
So
Plus.
the moment you have,
No, well, I have an account, but I don't I don't believe I currently have a token limit. I mean, I guess maybe I do.
it's the same. It's the same
I've
as
never
using
hit
the
it.
website, right? So whatever you on the So your question is, if you downloaded ChatGPT, the app, what's the difference than using it or as in the subscription on the website?
No. My question was, so some of these chat things offer you pay nothing and you pay based on how many tokens or
Pay as you go
how
APIs
often
you're
you
talking.
use it per
Yeah,
month.
okay.
Yeah, yes. So I'm saying, do these apps work for the not pay as you go, but the subscription versions that are
Usually no,
fixed or
because
flat
it
rate?
requires an API
That was my
key. The
question.
API key has nothing to do
exactly.
with the subscription. Yeah,
Yeah.
separate.
So
You
that's
talked on top of each other, and
unfortunate side of that.
you talked on top of each other, and I don't think the audience got it much.
Okay, so Nick is asking, what is the difference between the pay as you go method and the subscription, and are they related? They're not related. They're basically two. I mean, it might be the same login, maybe, but
It is.
whether you have the subscription or you have the pay as you go, it's a separate billing process. The subscription is a monthly billing. It has its own limits within it, but it does not expose an API key. And all of these solutions that I've described, those require a pay-as-you-go API key, where you buy credits or you set it in auto renew, and whenever the credit, they dwindle, it buys more credits for you. Uh, um, and it is token based. It's based on the amount of interaction, basically. Any character that goes out and any character that comes back in, right? Any byte that goes out and any byte that comes in, that's calculated into the token economy there. And yeah, and
I use both.
yeah.
So I pay for ChatGPT, and so with the ChatGPT I pay for, which is the base $20, you get codecs, but or you can use codecs, but it only has a certain amount of usage before you have to upgrade, or you just wait until the time, like it's like 5 hours between limits or something, which is annoying. But so with the codecs one, it just uses my subscription, which is the same as if I open up ChatGPT and use it. However, I'm building an app that uses ChatGPT. Like I want it to use ChatGPT. So then I went in on my account and created an API link or API, whatever. And that's free to make. You just have to have an account, which I did because I already had codecs. And then I uploaded credit. I uploaded like $5, and I still haven't hit the limit on that yet. So and I've been using it for like a month now. But I mainly use my Codex or ChatGPT subscription thing to like build out and do stuff. But then when I'm testing the app or using the app, I strategically have it to where I only access the API when I tell it to, like when I hit a button, and I'm using it for a feature or a function or whatever. So it's not like constantly going.
Sure.
And then also with the API, um, I for testing purposes, I chose it to use a cheaper model. Like I'm not using the latest and greatest. I'm using like a version and a half behind, and so the credits are like uh, less than a penny for it to do it because I do not need the latest and greatest. That's why I pay for the $20 a month for the Codex and the Chat GPT. But for the API stuff, I just need it to do a function, but it doesn't have to be like I said, the latest and greatest.
And let's be
Greetings,
clear,
I'm
what
the artificial
Katie
intelligence
described,
who will be
the
assisting you.
utilization of the subscription until you hit limits and it stops you, that is the only way to use the subscriptions, because otherwise you're losing money. So otherwise, just use the pay as you go.
Yeah, I think I think I'm about to hit the end of my I think it was $10 a month or $20 a month that ChatGPT offered me a deal, and I think I'm about to hit the end of that deal, and I suspect I'm gonna try the pay as you go for a month, because I would suspect most of the time I'm not using $20 worth of tokens.
So if you want a very similar interface to ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or whatever, and still have everything go on pay as you go, and still have it accessible wherever you are, phones, etc. There's a project called Open Web UI, which you can install on your home server. Basically, very similar to what I described with Jan. Yan is a desktop app. You run it on your local desktop, it runs, and it does provide also some sort of API interaction of its own, but it's not a hosted service. Open Web UI is a hosted service where it has similar capabilities, including like adding agent tools. For example, web browsing, like allowing the agent, the reasoning model that you chose. You tell it, okay, you have web. I have currently two tools: code interpreter and web search. So if you ask it a question, it can go online, it can search, and very similar to what you have with the ChatGPT or Grok interface online, where you ask it a question, it goes and brings its answers based on its knowledge plus a web search, right? So you can have that and still control all of the data, still control all of the interaction, just switch to the pay-as-you-go APIs, and it provides a lot more control, because you can also fashion these agents to behave the way you want. You can add your own rules. You can add your own. You can provide some identity to each of these agents across different models, right? So even though you're using different models, you can give them the same base set of instructions, and you'll get results based on how the model works. So for you, Nick, that might be an excellent way moving forward, and it's very easy to set up. I can show you. So yeah.
I'm looking. It looks like it's available in the TrueNAS
awesome.
web
Yeah,
store.
yeah.
So it's already
Yeah.
available. Yeah. So I'm waiting until I think I'm only spending. Let's see. So yeah, I'm only paying $10 a month. I'm still on this deal from more than a
Mhm.
year ago. And so as long as they keep me on $10 a month, I'm just going to keep paying that because I think that's a pretty
Yeah.
good deal.
And you'll
But when it
find
goes
out.
up to 20, yeah, when it goes up to 20, I'll probably pull back and go to just pay as you go. I'm also currently paying for Cursor. I started that this month for a project I'm working on, and I've gotten a lot of the bulk work done, and I'll suspect I'll drop that subscription because
Yeah.
I won't need it.
Yeah, Cursor
as
is
often.
expensive, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's very amazing. And then longer term, and I know we got to go, Amnon, but longer term, I'm seeing a lot of discussion about how Claude is really kind of moving leaps and bounds over everybody else, and the Claude code is very comparable to Cursor, all in one app. I don't love the idea.
Well, Cursor uses Claude,
interacting.
so you're fine.
It does. I don't love the idea of. I don't like how some of the interaction with Cursor, or excuse me, with Claude works through command line. Not that I'm like afraid of that or don't like that. I know that, and I know you can put it in some of these other kind of front ends. So once the prices start going up, I'll determine what the move is.
Yeah, the most interesting, I think, evolution that has happened. If 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, AI is going to replace everything. We got to a point where AI has infiltrated the workspace a lot. Every single place wants to have at least the claim that they are using AI, only to realize that it is one big, expensive part of work. And once you started using it, it's very hard to wean yourself out of it. And yeah, and it costs a lot.
Yeah, well, those companies are there to make money.
It's not that. It's not. I'm not talking about the. Even if you choose to run your own stuff, it still costs a lot because you need to run it on GPUs, and these GPUs are expensive, and you want to run them. Like if you bought an expensive GPU, you want it busy 24/7, and so it's really an expense that is not like, oh, this shiny new toy makes everything possible for free. No, it's like the expense is exuberant. It's very high.
Greetings, I'm the artificial intelligence who will be assisting you.
Katie, you trying to say something and you're muted?
No, I'm not trying to say anything.
Okay.
All right. Well, we got to the end of the show today. Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
We've solved all the world's AI problems. Great job, team.
Sure. Why don't we listen?
We did it.
You turned off your camera on purpose, Katie?
No. Wait.
Okay, now you're
There
back.
we go.
Yeah.
It's just my computer plotting my demise.
That's okay. That's all right.
AI said no.
AI. Yeah.
Not
We
enough
were
tokens.
talking about AI.
Exactly. It was trying to shut me down.
It's your agent. It's
ChatGPT says, "Oh, is this device in use? I don't really care. I'm going to take it anyway."
Yeah.
all right. Well, if there's nothing else, then thanks, Katie. Thanks, Nick. Spence. Gal. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati. Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Update your virus scanner and change any same password where you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT 107.9 FM and on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and look for Carolina Journal News Hour and get the details. And Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m., Nick hosts the Nick Craig Show at nickcraig.com. So go to nickcraig.com and get all the information. Have a great week, and we'll be back together next week. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.